Manuel Ayau was a Guatemalan engineer by training who went to school in the United States, returned to Guatemala, and tried to start his own business. And he looked around Guatemala and realized that people who started businesses were continually meeting with failure. And he became interested in why it was so difficult to have a successful business in Guatemala. And he became interested in economics. He taught himself through, just acquiring books in Austrian economics about how the market works. And using that information and that education, he went on to found a very important university in Guatemala City called the University Francisco Marroquin, which now is one of probably the predominant university in Guatemala, and the university where businesses that want to hire people out of school go as their first choice. The work Manuel Ayau did is so important, not just in Guatemala, but really in all the world, but particularly in the Spanish-speaking world, because he was, I think, one of the real pioneers in modern day education in free market economics. He's the one in Guatemala and throughout the region who's, I think, most recognized for having imparted to people how important liberal economics, the freedom of an entrepreneur to be able to run a business with low taxes, low regulation, and lots of freedom of choice in order to create prosperity in a country. This wasn't something that was well recognized, I think, before Manuel really began the university and spread the gospel of the free market through the region. Those ideas are so important if Latin America is going to develop. And it's very important to Spain as well. Well, ideas matter. And what we have learned in the United States, in Europe, and certainly in Latin America is that if you don't defend the ideas of free markets, they wither. I mean, there's always competition with people who believe that the answers to our problems of poverty and underdevelopment are found with the state. And Manuel showed very clearly through the work he did with Austrian economics that, in fact, the answers are found with the individual, with individual rights and the protection of those rights with respect to property and with respect to their own human actions. And those ideas have to be defended if they're going to be part of the rule of law in a country, and if they're going to help the country develop and make life better off for all the people who live there.